can't even imagine it. Spending more than 4 decades in prison as an innocent person convicted of a triple homicide. But for one Missouri man, that has been his reality. Despite the surviving eyewitness trying to recant her testimony, despite another man convicted of the crime saying that he wasn't involved, despite numerous family alibis and absolutely no physical evidence, Kevin Strickland was sentenced to 50 years in prison without the possibility of parole back in 1979. And yesterday, just hours ago, after 43 years behind bars for crimes that he did not commit, he left a free man. And Kevin is with us now, along with his attorney, Tricia Rojo Bushnell of the Midwest Innocence Project. Kevin and Tricia, thank you so much for being with us. As I mentioned, Kevin, you were freed just hours ago after 43 years in prison. What is that like?
Atmosphere change. It's you know, it's refreshing. I guess that would be a start. Disbelief. Once again, I recite the same feelings and emotions, but it was a restless night last night, and I'm thinking this still isn't it true. Are they waiting for me outside to take me back? I mean,
is that what was keeping you awake? Kevin, is that what was keeping you awake? Sort of the disbelief of it, or what were you thinking about as you were having a hard time sleeping?
You know, I'm used to living in a close, confined cell where I, you know exactly what's going on in there with me, and to be in a home and you hear the creaks, you know, of the home settling and the electrical wiring and whatever else. It was, I was kind of afraid. I thought somebody was coming to get me. I mean, some stuff that you probably wouldn't think I was thinking, but yeah, I wasn't comfortable.
You know, how are you feeling? Do you have anger?
Now, you know, I can't say that I have anger because, you know, don't want people to think, you know, in the event something happens in a 10-mile radius of where I'm living, then I'm responsible for it. So no, I don't have anger. You know, I'm paranoid. You know, do I have anger, frustration, you know, disappointment? I'm not gonna go with anger.
I certainly think you would be more than entitled, although I don't imagine there are many people who can know how it would feel to be you right now, Kevin. One of the things is obviously that you've missed so much, including your mother's passing recently, and you'd said that you wanted to visit her grave. Have you been able to do that yet, or to make plans to do that?
Yes, I've already did that. That was the first stop.
What was that like, Kevin?
That was the first stop. Yeah. I mean, to know my mother was underneath that dirt, and I hadn't got a chance to visit with her in the last years because due to her, you know, diminishing dementia state, you know, I revisited those tears that I did when they told me I was guilty of a crime I didn't commit. So it was, a lot of stuff came out. I talked to her for a minute. I believe she could hear me, I do. Yeah, that's, yeah.
I certainly, yeah. No, I certainly hope so, Kevin. And you know, she would have wanted to see this day as she stood by and supported you for all these years. And Tricia, I think one of the, you know, there have been, it's been so obvious for so many years that this needed to be righted. Just walk us through the last few years and why it took so long.
Yeah, I think Kevin's case really shows just how difficult the process is for every individual who's innocent, and particularly here. So the first piece of evidence that you talk about that showed he was innocent, his co-defendant confessed in 1979 in front of a court and everything at a plea that he wasn't involved, and named the other individuals who were involved, including some folks who've never been charged with the crime, and said Kevin was not there. So since 1979, Kevin himself has been filing. He filed over 17 petitions with all this evidence, with evidence of the recantation of the victims, with these confessions from the real perpetrators, and no court would hear it. They wouldn't even have a hearing. And so, at that time in Missouri, there's a question of whether or not innocence is a reason to get out of prison if you were not sentenced to death, and Mr. Strickland wasn't sentenced to death. So when the current prosecutor agreed that Mr. Strickland was innocent, we had filed that petition to help get him out on his behalf. But, whether or not innocence is a reason to get out of prison keeps him from being in court. And so it was such a strange position here in Missouri where prosecutors didn't have the power to let someone out of prison that we actually had to change the law. That law went into effect in August, and the prosecutor, Gene Peters Baker, filed that motion to overturn the conviction. But even then, that law provides for the Attorney General to, quote, make an appearance, be at the hearing, question witnesses, and make argument. And what that resulted in our state of Missouri, in an Attorney General's office that has fought every innocence case for the last 30 years, was incredible delay as they sought to have the judge dismissed, to have every judge in Jackson County, and to have the hearing delay after delay after delay. And so that's what it is. That's why Mr. Strickland didn't get to be with his mother when she passed.
Something I think that's going to stun a lot of people is that Missouri does not give assistance except for in some specific cases for people who have been wrongly convicted. So I just want to highlight the GoFundMe page for Kevin, and we're also going to go ahead and tweet this out because I know a lot of people are going to be touched by this story. But Kevin, I understand that you want to see the ocean.
Yeah, that'd be a big win. Yeah, I think anybody that's alive should want to see the ocean before they pass, one time in life. So yes, that's a big deal with me. Yeah.
Can you tell us why?
I just
tell
see
us
it
why.
to get in it. Yeah.
And what else? And what else, Kevin?
Oh, I lost my hearing.
Oh, can we get that in there, Tricia?
Why would you like to see that?
Well, I mean, I was big as a teenager. I was big on swimming anyway, so I've always liked the water. And God created a big deal there when he put all that water out there. And I need to get out there and see if I can ride a great white or something like that. But yeah, that's the experience. I want to feel the power of the water. I at 62, I believe I could surf if they get me out of this chair. Yeah, so the water's wonderful. Me and water don't have I can swim. So yes, that's what the water's about.
You must have missed that so much. Just some of the simple things, obviously, in life here over the last 43 years. Kevin, it is a privilege to speak with you, Kevin Strickland, and Tricia Rojo Bushnell. Thank you so much for all of your work and for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.